There's a silence that follows you everywhere, not the calm kind you choose on a quiet morning, but the kind that presses against your chest at 2 a.m. when the world is asleep and no one knows you're still awake. It's the kind of loneliness that doesn't cry out loud. It just exists, like a room in your house you walk past every day, knowing it's empty, but you never open the door. You laugh at the right jokes. You say, "I'm good, just busy," with a smile that almost feels real. You might even have hundreds of followers, a packed calendar, and a fridge full of meals you ate alone. From the outside, everything looks fine, but inside, there's one question that never leaves you. If something incredible happened right now, who would you call? If your world fell apart tonight, who would show up at your door without being asked? If you disappeared for a week, who would notice before your boss did? This isn't just being single or liking your own company. This is the quiet, bone-deep ache of having no one who truly knows you. No one you can text at midnight without calculating every word. No one who remembers how you take your coffee, what song destroys you, or who you were before life taught you to make yourself smaller. And the cruelest part, most people who end up here are the ones who felt everything too deeply, the ones who noticed every micro shift in tone, who cared too much, trusted too fully, and got burned one too many times. They learned, slowly, painfully, that opening up can hurt worse than staying closed. So they built walls that look like independence. They turned "I'm fine alone" into armor, then into identity, then into a life sentence. Science says it plain. Chronic loneliness hurts like physical pain. The same brain regions light up as when you break a bone. Your body floods with stress hormones as if you're being chased by a predator. Because for most of human history, being cut off from the tribe meant death. Over time, the parts of your brain that read faces and voices start to quiet down. You literally get worse at knowing whether someone is happy to see you or just being polite. You didn't choose this. It happened in slow motion. A childhood where you were always the odd one out. A best friend who vanished after graduation. A betrayal that taught you secrets are weapons. A string of people who took 90% from you and gave back 10% until you finally stopped giving. Each time, your brain quietly updated its files. Trust equals danger. Vulnerability equals future ammunition. Better to expect nothing than to be disappointed again. So you became the master of pulling back first. You cancel plans before they can cancel you. You keep conversations light enough to escape unscathed. You perfected. "I'm good, thanks for asking." And the world believed you. They never saw the nights you scrolled through old photos, wondering what fatal thing you did wrong. They never heard the mental replay of every conversation, dissecting where you were too much. But here's what almost no one tells you. The people who've lived in this silence the longest often carry the deepest light. They've watched life from the sidelines so long, they can spot real from fake in a heartbeat. They notice when someone's laugh doesn't reach their eyes. They feel the temperature drop in a room before anyone else does. They understand human hearts in ways the socially successful never bother to learn, that depth terrifies shallow connections. So they wait. They wait for someone who feels undeniably safe, someone who stays consistent when it's no longer convenient, someone who can hold the full weight of who they are without flinching or walking away. And while they wait, they appear distant, intense, hard to know, pushing away the very people who might have grown into something real, if only given time. Without friendship's mirror, your reflection distorts. You start believing your own worst stories. "I'm too intense. I'm forgettable. No one actually wants the real me." Every delayed text becomes proof. Every cancelled plan becomes evidence. And because there's no one close enough to say, "That's not what happened," the story hardens into truth. Time feels different here. Weekends stretch like endless grey highways. Holidays arrive like advertisements for a life you're not in. Memories blur. Did that moment happen last month or 3 years ago? You become an expert at your own company. You learn passions that are truly yours. You discover who you are when no one is watching. In many ways, you know yourself better than people with crowded lives ever will. But comfort in solitude can turn into fear of company. The longer you're alone, the more foreign other people feel. Conversation that once flowed now requires a script. You overthink every word, every silence, every glance. You feel rusty, exposed, like someone trying to dance after a decade off the floor. Society doesn't help. We're expected to have a crew, a +1, stories on demand. When you don't, you lie smoothly. Yeah, my weekend was great, just chilled. You become an Oscar-level performer of totally fine. Because the truth feels like failure. Social media pours salt in the wound. Endless feeds of group trips, inside jokes, birthday dinners. Everyone else seems to have cracked the code you never found. Yet here's the paradox that breaks my heart every time. The people who've known the deepest loneliness often become the most extraordinary friends. When someone finally gets close enough to see, they listen like it's the last conversation they'll ever have. They remember the smallest details. They show up in ways others never think to, because they know what it feels like to be forgotten. And the brain that learned to close can learn to open again. It's not magic. It's tiny, repeated acts of courage. Letting one honest sentence slip. Texting first even when your hands shake. Staying 5 extra minutes when every instinct screams run. Accepting that some people will disappoint you, and it won't kill you. Each risk rewires the old lesson. Not everyone leaves. Some stay. You don't need 100 friends. You might only need 1 or 2 who look at you, really look, and think, there you are. I've been looking for you. If you're reading this and your chest feels tight, please hear me. Your loneliness is not a verdict on your worth. It's scar tissue from loving deeply in a world that didn't love you back the same way. You are not broken for protecting yourself. You are not doomed. You are not too much or not enough. You are someone who learned caution the hard way. And the right people won't ask you to be smaller. They'll see the quiet light you've been guarding all these years and recognize it as home. So keep that light on. Leave the door cracked, even just an inch. Speak to yourself the way you wish someone else would. Because one day, maybe soon, maybe after a few more quiet seasons, someone will walk through that door and say, I thought I was the only one who felt this way. And in that moment, every night you spent alone will make sense. Every unanswered text, every invisible ache. It was all teaching you how to recognize the real thing when it finally arrived. You are worthy of being known, not fixed, not improved, just known. And you will be, I promise. Just stay.